How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech. So today we're just going to take a quick little look at the Cooler Master SK650. You do also have the SK630 and the 621, which is smaller models, but all of them are low profile RGB mechanical gaming keyboards. So low profile means it's extremely low, the keys, and that is depending on if you really like that. Some people don't really like the low profileness, others do. I actually do quite like them, but only for typing. I don't really like them that much for gaming. So yeah, if you're mostly going to type on these, then I think this is going to be an option for you. But now let's quickly go over all of the features for this keyboard. Now currently it doesn't have any RGB because inside the box you do have the detachable 1.8 meter braided type C cable, which is really handy. I do like that they're adding a lot more detachable type C cables. You do also have the keycap puller over here. And then finally, you do also have this nice carry pouch, which is just a nice inclusion. I don't really use carry pouches that much. I'm not going to travel that much with the keyboard, and if I do, I just put it inside my bag. Usually it's no problem, but yeah, you do also have that. All right, so let's just quickly connect it. There we go. So you guys can't really see that much of the RGB lighting from the top cam, but from the sides, you can actually see a lot more there. It is going to be bright enough if you are in a more dark environment. Currently I have just like lights everywhere, so it's not that easy to see, but I have seen these in a bit of a dark environment and they do look quite good. But now firstly, pricing wise, the SK650 is retailing for around $80 on Amazon US, which isn't actually that bad, but here in South Africa, it is retailing for around 2,100 Rand, which is definitely not just the conversion of the US Rand to USD. So it is quite a bit more expensive here, unfortunately. But if you are in the market for a keyboard like this, then probably price won't be that big of a deal because there aren't really that many low profile RGB mechanical keyboards on the market. That might also do with the price tag. But now for that price point, you do have a mostly plastic design, although the top plate is a brushed aluminum, which does actually look quite nice. You do also have the white version as well if you want to go for that. It does look pretty good as well. White keycaps, a white top plate, but it's also brushed aluminum, I believe. That looks also really good with the RGB. Now it is quite thin. You guys can see that it is extremely thin, and with the keycaps as well, the low profile mechanical switches, it is very low profile-ness. But luckily flex isn't too bad. There's some, but I wouldn't really say it's anything too bad. I'm not going to worry about it actually breaking, or I haven't even really seen any mechanical keyboards breaking, so it's not too bad. It's just the build quality is pretty good. Now we are seeing more and more keyboards come out with a palm raise, but because this is so low to your table, you don't really need one. It is actually nice and low. I'm typing all over my script, but it's fine. Now, I will say that underneath, you do not get any flip-out keyboard feet. Unfortunately, you get only these 4 rubber pads, which does do a decent job at preventing the keyboard from sliding around. But I would have liked if it was able to lift up just a tiny bit. Now, you probably can put something... Now, my phone that's going crazy like that, I'll just use this. You can use it as a stand if you wanted to, and probably lift it up a bit more with something, but most likely not your phone, but you can do that if you wanted to, if you really needed to. But now as for the switches, again, just like the name implies, this is the low profile Cherry MX switches. Now, fortunately, you only get these this keyboard, the range, the SK600 range, in Cherry MX red switches, I believe, which is unfortunate. I don't like reds that much. I do like my more tactile feeling switches. But these are more silent, and they are popular. Reds are popular switches. So there you go if you do like reds. But now because they are from Cherry, we all know that they're going to last, believe 50 million click life cycle, all of that goodness. If you wanted to, you could probably get different keycaps as well. They do still use the standard at that plus stem, but because of the different switch, I don't think normal switch will ever work on these. So maybe on some websites you'll be able to get different keycaps if you wanted to, but the keycaps are pretty good as well. They are a double shot ABS plastic, and then also they do have a nice soft matte finish to them. They're just completely flat. Most of these switches again have a bit of a curve to them to fit your finger inside. These are just flat entirely, flat earth. So there we go, it's confirmed. But yeah, it does feel pretty good. I do like these switches, and they do fit well in with the more low profile keyboard. I believe I took a look at a different keyboard from MSI a while back, and those had the bit of more curves. So it's going to depend on what you personally like. These do feel pretty good as well. There we go. Now, a question that I do get a lot is the switches removable? And no, on these keyboards. On more of the mainstream keyboards from the bigger brands, Cooler Master, Corsair, Logitech, and so on, Razer, usually you can't remove the switches. They are soldered onto the PCB board, so you can't do that. It's more on the smaller brands or more custom keyboards that you can actually replace the switches. So just wanted to mention that. But now as for how these sound, again, they are red switches. So I'm just typing like crazy. They do sound pretty silent. Nothing bad at all. I do have other reds here. So these are browns. Let me just quickly get that keycap puller just to make sure. All right, so these are brown switches. So that is the difference. And now just going like crazy. My laptop is freaking out like crazy now. It's just pressing a D the entire time, and even though both of the the keyboards are disconnected, what the hell's going on? Laptop, what's wrong? What's wrong? All right, let's just first restart my laptop. All right, so I fixed the laptop just pressing the D key the entire time. Make that with what you will. But moving on, you do have a bunch of different commands on the keyboard itself, but just for easy sake, you do have everything here on the back of the manual as well. So if you're in a pinch, you can just check that out. But it is pretty straightforward. You do have all of your RGB commands. You do have your media commands here as well, from insert to page down, play, pause, skip, and so on. You do have macros and so on. But I'm quickly going to show you guys some of the RGB effects. So let me just quickly turn off one of the lights so you guys can see maybe a tiny bit better. So for all of your RGB controls, you do have your secondary function and then F1 to F8 over here. So firstly, F1 is called the cycle effect, which just changes between F1, F2 to F4. These keys are for the red to change. You have 9 different levels of red, 9 different levels of green, and then 9 different levels of blue. So you can play around with that and get what you want. But F1 pretty much automatically changes between all of the preset colors. I also believe there's 9 different colors that you can change between. Now then, F5 is your just quickly access between all of the different effects. So just, you do have a few here. You can also, I believe, change that again inside the Portal software. Maybe you can also change the colors like that. You have your just color cycle. You have your color breathing, and then you can also change all of your different speeds here as well with the arrow keys while we're at it, and then also the direction. So in and out. So you do have that more. do have the explosion effect, which I just call it reactive. You can still change the colors if you want to. There we go. And then you finally get to the color rainbow wave effect, which is just my favorite overall. Then next up, for F6 to F7, you do have your foreground effects and your background effects. So for that, just press the F6 key and then your profile which you want to use, change the color which you want. So we're going to take that a bit down. It's going to be a bit more of a red effect, and then just press that again. Now it does save that. Then next up, you do go for the F7, and that's for your background effect. You guys can already see I kind of changed it to blue there. So that's going to mix the effects with each other. For example, if it is an explosion effect or just a ripple effect, you guys can see that if you change that, the main effect is going to be red and the background is going to be blue. So you do have that option if you wanted to play around with that. And then for the final effect, you just get your F8, which is called your demo effect, which I believe is just going to change between all of the different effects to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. So yeah, there it changed. So you do have that, but I'm gonna go back to my rainbow wave. Where is it? There we go, my rainbow wave effect. That's my favorite, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Now you do also have your arrow key commands here as well. So for the arrow up and down, that's just to adjust the speed of the effect, and then left and right is just to change the direction of the effect. So you do have those options there. Finally, for F9 to F12, that's just for your macros, for your Windows lock key, and then also for your, what did I call it again? Your F10 is going to be your record LED backlight, which you can record your backlight if you wanted to. You do have those options right there as well. So then in conclusion, this entire keyboard is going to depend up to you if you do like these low profile keyboards. Now I can say whatever I want. I do like them, not for gaming. I do like to type on them. They do feel nice underneath my fingers. Like I do like typing a bit more on a laptop. I've done that for quite a bit now and I've gotten used to that. And this does resemble the floating keys are more like you would get on a laptop. And I do personally like that for all of my script writing and everything. However, for gaming, the low actuation point is just a bit too low for me, and especially because these are reds as well, they are a bit too soft. They don't have that tactile feel which I want inside a game. I want to feel that I'm actually pressing down on the key, and with these reds, and especially because they're low profile, that doesn't really seem to be the case. Now still, a lot of people don't really like these, so it's entirely up to you. If you like them, then there you go. I don't have anything really bad to say about the keyboard. It's a pretty solid keyboard. Maybe just the price being a bit up there, especially for here in South Africa, being around 26 times the US price point if you convert everything instead of just 15. So yeah, it is a bit more expensive here, and even in the US for $80. If you're not particularly looking for a low profile keyboard, then I would say rather go for something else. Cooler Master does make plenty other, the SK650 and so on, which is even cheaper. So you do have other options, which is a bit more normal. But anyway, that is pretty much it for my review of the SK650 from Cooler Master. A nice addition to their keyboards. Just again, I like it that there is an option if you want to go low profile. So there you go. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. A big thanks to Cooler Master South Africa for sending over the SK650 for this video. And if you guys want to get it for yourself, I will leave links in the video description. And if you guys like this review, please like, share, comment like always. And I will see all of you next time. Cheers, guys.